Israel won 7 medals, including 2 golds, at the 2022 Rhythmic Gymnastics European Championships held in Tel Aviv. Daria Atamanov, who's just 16, got Israel off to the best possible start by winning all-around gold on day 1 with an unbeatable combined score of 136.9, defeating runner-up Boriana Kalin of Bulgaria. The 16-year-old was in a bit of a shock at the medal presentation ceremony. Here's everything we know. First up, how many medals did Israel win? Israel took home 7 medals, including 2 golds. By winning the overall gold medal and beating Bulgaria's Boriana Kalin with an unmatched overall score of 136.9, Daria Atamanov helped Israel advance to the championship final. With junior and senior titles in both individual and group competitions on the line, more than 250 athletes from 39 different countries were competing in Tel Aviv. The event also acted as a qualification round for the Global Championships, which will take place in Sofia, Bulgaria later this year. In the radical all-around competition, Israel successfully claimed its second gold medal by scoring 69.95 points, just 0.3 points ahead of Italy. After that, the Israeli team won the hoop competition. Adi Katz also earned a bronze for her Israeli team on the final day. With a total score of 69.950, Israel's Rhythmic Gymnastics team won the group all-around competition. The Italian team, which finished with 69.65, was barely beaten by the American team. With 65.4, Azerbaijan came in third. With a final score of 136.9, the 16-year-old Atamanov upset Bulgaria's Boriana Kalin to win the all-around competition. Performances involving hoops, clubs, ribbons, and balls were included in this category. When asked about winning the top spot, she responded, "You don't think about it during the competition. You just think about each exercise individually, and then when you finish everything, you think about it." The victories prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that rhythmic gymnastics is one of Israel's strongest sports. But what is rhythmic gymnastics? Understanding rhythmic gymnastics is needed in order to appreciate how remarkable this achievement is, particularly for 16-year-old Daria Atamanov, who went on to win 3 silver medals in the apparatus finals for the hoops, clubs, and ribbon to finish off an incredible tournament. The sophisticated artistic and aesthetic discipline of rhythmic gymnastics requires a specific training regimen and extremely high levels of mental and physical stress during competition. 5 different disciplines of musically accompanied rhythmic gymnastics are performed only by female athletes. These include ribbons, ropes, hoops, balls, and clubs. Working out with rhythmic gymnastics is an awesome way to make your body healthy and fit, but it's not easy. In a rhythmic gymnastics competition, the organizers choose which 4 of the 5 disciplines the gymnasts will do on the square floor, each taking over 1 minute 30 seconds. There are 3 juries that award points. The first awards points for technique, the second awards points for artistic impression, and the third rewards points for execution. The 3 points are added up to create a score of 30. Next, Atamanov's journey. In Israel, Atamanov is considered a potential successor to Linoy Ashram, who earlier this year announced retirement after winning a gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. Ashram is currently a member of the coaching staff for the Israeli team as well. Daria Atamanov, a rising local star, defied expectations to win the all-around title in the European Championships for rhythmic gymnastics on June 18th in Tel Aviv, Israel. With her triumph at Tokyo 2020, Linoy Ashram, a compatriot of the 16-year-old Atamanov, became the first Israeli woman to win an Olympic gold medal. Daria began rhythmic gymnastics at the Hapoel Ramat Eliyahu Rishon LeZion club when she was 7 years old. She used to dance before that, and during her dancing classes, she learned how to do splits and bridges, which she enjoyed, and she was also flexible, so her coach informed her that there was a rhythmic gymnastics club nearby that may fit her. Her grandpa was an athlete, so she was already familiar with the sport. So before she began practicing rhythmic gymnastics, she used to watch the Olympics with him over the summer break, which is how she got familiar with the sport. Previously, Ashram had won Israel's first Olympic medal. The 22-year-old competitor, who was also a member of Atamanov's coaching team, started off strong with 3 expertly completed routines in ball, hoops, and clubs to take the lead early in the 2020 Rhythmic Gymnastics Championship. Although she dropped the medal during her last routine, her score of 23 was still high enough to put her in first place and give Israel its first rhythmic gymnastics medal. But it goes without saying that it wasn't easy, and her rival Dinah wasn't ready to give the Israeli athlete an easy ride, and she put on an incredible ball performance to match Ashram's ball score. She gave it her all in the club and the ribbon, but she lost, and her final score of 107.65 was 150 points short of Ashram's, earning her the silver medal. Now, in other related news. First up, Israel's under-19 men's soccer team reaches Euro final. When Israel's national youth soccer team overcame France to go to its first European final, it created a really remarkable milestone. Additionally, their victory over France earned them a place place at the inaugural FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Indonesia in 2023. The team also earned a spot in the semifinals for the first time. Never before had an Israeli team advanced that far in the tournament. Even the national team's coach, Ophir Haim, acknowledged France as a tough opponent, stating before the game that his team would need to make up with brains and wisdom for their speed and physical ability needed to compete with the European national team. At the 30-minute mark, France unintentionally scored on its own goal to give Israel a 1-0 lead in an exciting game. At the 57-minute mark, Kansopolski, an Israeli midfielder, headed the ball into the goal to make the score 2-0. In the end, France scored one goal but fell short 2-1. Israel drew 2-2 with Serbia in their opening match of the tournament before defeating Austria 4-2 3 days later. They fell to England 0-1 on Saturday, but they still finished second in their group and advanced to the semifinals. The Israeli team was congratulated by Culture and Sports Minister Chili Troper on reaching the semifinals by praising them for bringing grit and the spirit of winning to the field. Next, Wade van Niekerk is confident about the 2022 World Athletics Championship. Wade van Niekerk, the Olympic champion, won the men's 400-meter race in the Stars and Stripes Classic event in Atlanta, Georgia on July 2nd by a dominating margin. Van Niekerk, a South African, seemed at ease taking the lead from start to finish. He finished in 44.58 seconds, giving himself a much-needed confidence boost before the World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon. The two-time world champion crossed the finish line over a second ahead of the closest competitor, Rushine McDonald, 45.43 seconds of Jamaica, while the rest of the field trailed behind in a V formation. Demish Gay, another Jamaican, finished the race in 45.47 seconds, with American superstar Michael Norman leading the way after clocking a mark of 43.56 seconds at the 2022 USATF Outdoor Championships at the end of June. The time places him just outside the top 10 globally this year. So will he succeed? After suffering a major knee injury, Van Niekerk's recovery has been slowed by setbacks, including an early retirement from the postponed Tokyo 2020 Olympics in 2021. His bad luck continued in 2022 when he withdrew as a precaution from the ASA Senior Track and Field Championships in Cape Town in April before withdrawing from a 200-meter event in Italy in May. With only one competitive event under his belt this year, his lack of race experience may once again be an issue at a large event like the World Championships, where he'd have to go through the rounds for a chance at redemption. In the end, his injuries may hold him back again. He had only competed in 2 races by the time he arrived in Tokyo, including the season-opening 44.56-second performance on June 19th in Madrid. Injury issues plagued Van Niekerk's preparation for Tokyo 2020, leaving the South African runner unprepared for his championship defense. The 29-year-old was disqualified after finishing 6th in the semifinals of the 400-meter at the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020 and was unable to advance to the final. His time was 45.14 seconds. The joy of Rio 2016 was a far cry from the terrible disappointment of Tokyo, where his winning time of 43.03 seconds destroyed the world record that the legendary American Michael Johnson had held since 1999, earning him a place in Olympic history. As he pursues the first finals spot since the 2017 London Global Championships, Van Niekerk will be hoping to put the setbacks of the previous 5 years behind him. He won the 200-meter silver medal and the back-to-back 400-meter crowns in those competitions before tearing his anterior cruciate knee ligament in a celebratory touch rugby match in October 2017. And that's a wrap for today's video. What do you think about the Israeli team's performance in the rhythmic gymnastics? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.